within government that have had close contact, like hundreds, and it's connected to my group, and there's just more coming in that way. So that program is trying to figure out what those technologies did to those people and how those technologies work, even though it's more about tasking, our assets like satellites and other things to be able to find these things better. But this is different than the Secret Machines book, which is more of another thing altogether.
So is there communication between the United States government and alien life forms?
I personally, I don't know any of this stuff because I'm not invited to those types of meetings, but I personally wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
You wouldn't doubt it, but they have never alluded to it or discussed it with you in any way?
Not this group of people, no.
Is there any speculation as to what they're doing?
Resource extraction,
like minerals,
empire building.
Life,
I tell people
sperm,
eggs. I think it's
cheese.
I think it's tacos.
I think
they're here for the same reason I am. But I tell people like a good way to look at this is like look at Syria, and Syria's in chaos because the United States and Russia are having a proxy war there. Mm-hmm. Now look at the Earth; it's the exact same thing. Different races are coming here. And they're trying to win and against each other.
So there's more than one race.
Oh yeah.
How many
this
different
universe we're talking about.
Right.
I don't know how many. I don't know.
But there's a bunch of different creatures, and they all have the same sort of technology.
Yeah, and some are very human. Some look just like you and I.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, is there any sort of speculation as to why life forms from other planets, other galaxies, other solar systems, different kind of gravity, different environments, would create a life form that's exactly similar to us? Or are they imitating what we look like in order to infiltrate our world and hang with us?
I think probably
unknowingly.
I think all the above. Look, if you look at like Syria, are you just going to say it's only Russia and America there? China's probably there. France is probably there. Mm-hmm. I personally think the little aliens with the big black eyes, those are androids. They're biological robots. They're just programmed. They're no different than us cloning sheep. They just clone a being that can travel through space because space
or
is
some sort of an artificial intelligence thing that doesn't have a life form, right? I've heard that idea before, and it kind of makes sense a little bit, right? If you're a living thing and you're traveling through space, obviously you have biological limitations in terms of the need for oxygen and gravitational interactions and all these different things.
Well, one of the scary hallmarks of those ones, the rumor is that in the back of their head is a transmitter. So you got to wonder where it's sending shit. But at the same time, I can tell you that when you look at the Bible, the angels and the demons of the Bible would be the humans and the androids that I just told you about.
So you think the Greys are the androids, right?
Yeah.
And so you think they're like some sort of devil?
No. I just think that that's how we characterized it because they come in, control your thoughts, control your body, take
us in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Demons,
So... do you think these things are traveling from where? Do we have any idea?
There's things that have been put out there, but I've never asked.
Why would you not ask that?
What the fuck? You can tell me star system like 483?
Well, you know about element 115. I would want to know about Starship Enterprise coordinate 115B65 Polaris, wherever the fuck it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know that there's connections to, man, you won't even fucking believe it. I'll tell you that. You want to hear?
Please.
Atlantis,
the sunken city?
Yeah.
There's a connection?
There's a connection.
What's the connection?
That there's a very advanced group that left after a catastrophe and hung around in a small outpost here and throughout time would push civilization forward, and that's who the Greek gods were.
Whoa.
Yep. And that's why it's very interesting on the Roswell wreckage there's Greek writing.
Is there?
There is.
I've never seen any of the wreckage from Roswell. Have you?
It's online. You see it. Type in Roswell wreckage. You can see it.
Well, all I've ever seen is
all to know that. So that's a conclusion I've reached. I'm usually pretty curious. I've stopped being curious about this because I don't want to know anymore. But
you truly don't want to know anymore about it.
I think I know. I think I know what's up. So I can't prove it, so probably not going to articulate it, but I think I know what's up, yeah. But
can you articulate it?
Well, I think it's a really old story. I think it's a really old story. So that's what I think.
What is it?
Well, one, I'm a Christian, and I am fairly sincere about it. I try to be sincere about it. more sincere than ever, for sure. But one thing that you notice about every world religion I'm familiar with, I'm interested in that topic, there are commonalities between religions. Jesus is unique, and I believe in Jesus, so I don't believe in any kind of pantheology, okay? I don't think they're all equal or anything like that. I think mine is correct. I think that. Sorry. But there are commonalities that are very striking between all world religions I'm aware of and all creation myths. And one of them, and this is of course true for Christianity, very true, is that the belief that supernatural beings take physical form. They all believe that. The Greek myths, Jesus, most famously, but that they take physical form, that they're not just like some ethereal, they're not just shadows floating around, specters, fog, that they're physical. Like, they're as real as the arm of your chair. And that they reproduce with people. Again, Christianity believes that. Jesus, immaculate conception, spirit reproduces with human woman. That's what the story is. It is described in Genesis as well, in Genesis 6. Again, it's not just the religion of the ancient Hebrews or the religion of the modern Christians. It's Hinduism as well, and the animist religions, the religions of, to the extent we understand them or know about them, of the American Indians, all the same. So if every culture in the world that we know about, who's left any kind of written or physical record, is reaching the same conclusions about something, maybe there's something there. And maybe it's not so crazy to think that what everyone else has always thought since the beginning of time, which that there is this combination in cases of, human beings and the spiritual realm, whatever that is. I can speak about it with no precision at all because I don't understand the specifics of it, but I know.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was really interesting. And what I found was that our space program today even has some really interesting rituals associated with it when it does certain launches at Cape Canaveral. Maybe not all of them, but the one that Tyler was involved with, they had images of Roman gods and goddesses put on the rockets. They would use Latin on their patches, their mission patches. And they would also have specific rituals that they would do, sometimes involving U.S. presidents. They would position the presidents at a certain point where astronomical events, would happen. And this, so Tyler had,
like the president of the United States.
Yes, the president of the United States. They didn't know what they were doing. They were just being positioned there. So they're like, stand here, Mr. Obama or President Obama, and he would stand there with his wife and look this direction. It was part of the whole thing, and there were photos. He has photos of all of that.
I mean, can you be a little more specific? Why would they stand him in a
Well, see, okay, so this is obviously some type of ritual, and I don't know why they're doing it. I just know that I'm a scholar of religion. I know a ritual when I see one. He didn't even understand it. So I noticed that they were using Latin, and I noticed it wasn't medieval Latin. I was like, this is a particular form of Latin. It seems like it's Roman theology. So, they're using the images of Roman gods. And I would ask him, I said, why are you using the images of Roman gods? Why are you putting them on your mission patches and also utilizing Latin phrases from that time period? I mean, you're sending it up into space. Who up in space is going to read Latin? And his answer was, our sponsors. So, I mean, that's what he said. And so he also had
Which Roman gods, do you know?
Yeah, so there would be obviously Apollo, right? So all the missions, if you think of all the missions, they're all those gods and goddesses.
Do you have any ideas of where this stemmed from?
It could, okay, so I do. It's just a theory though. So I could be completely wrong. But it seems to me that there might be an element within our government that maintains this theological tradition, this Roman theology. Could it be a form of Freemasonry? It could be. I don't know. But I just know that that's what it looks like.
Interesting. Why would they carry on these traditions?
I think at some level there's belief in those traditions. I don't think that
Hello, hello. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Hello and welcome to Atomic Movie Reviews Film Society. I am your host, Atomicon Rex. Here we discuss films that have a narrative background in aliens, ghosts, robots, and monsters. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Okay, we're doing a Project Insight today. We're gonna do the pantheon of Greek deities. We're going to do a little deep dive and see. I think we're nearing basically the end of Disclosure, at least in my opinion, when it comes to how I'm going to be covering the topic. We are entering the last stages of Disclosure. Disclosure kind of already happened. We kind of found out that the government really doesn't know much of anything, but what it does know pertains to myth and magic. Okay, so I got on ChatGTP and I asked it a couple questions in reference to Roswell and ancient Greek gods. And the reason I did that was information I derived from 3 different sources. One was Joe Rogan, and he was giving an interview to that rock star from Bleak 182, Tom DeLonge. Another one, they're both from, I want to say, Sean Ryan's podcast. And one is with Diana Pasoka, and another one is with Tucker Carlson. And so I'll try to thread them in throughout this little project. I don't know how long this is going to take. Okay, so let's get into it. Greek gods. And when I mean the Greek gods, the biblical equivalent to that would be the Elohim. Okay? And they basically were a family of immortals but looked and acted like human beings. The same biblical tale of gods aiding mankind told from different perspectives, so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm basically going to read like the question that I asked AI, and then it's like response. And so I'm just going to read what it says. So just bear with me and we'll try to get through this. Okay. The Greek symbol often associated with Roswell. Okay, so the question is there a Greek symbol associated with Roswell? That's what I'm asking it. And it responds, the Greek symbol often associated with the Roswell wreckage refers to markings reportedly seen on the debris recovered from the alleged UFO crash in 1947. Witnesses such as Major Jesse Marcel describe strange symbols or hieroglyphic-like characters on small metallic fragments. Some have compared these markings to ancient Greek letters or other undecipherable script. There is no definite proof that these symbols have a specific meaning. Some theories suggest they were alien writing, while skeptics argue they could have been part of experimental military equipment, possibly from a balloon or aircraft. Others believe they resemble designs found on certain types of tapes used in military projects at the time. Are you interested in a particular interpretation of these symbols? I respond, yes. One of the most interesting interpretation of the Roswell wreckage symbols is that they could represent a form of extraterrestrial language or advanced mathematical code. Some researchers suggest that the symbols bear a resemblance to ancient Greek, Egyptian hieroglyphs, or even alchemical symbols, implying a connection to lost knowledge or advanced civilizations. Others believe symbols might be a form of universal communication based on sacred geometry or ciphered script meant for interstellar travel. In UFO lore, some witnesses claim that similar markings have appeared on other alleged alien craft, further fueling speculation that they could be a form of alien writing or an encoded message. Do you lean more towards the extraterrestrial explanation, or are you looking for a more conventional explanation? Hold on, pause. Sorry about that. My teapot was going off. So let me reread the question. Do you lean more towards the extraterrestrial explanation, or are you looking for a more conventional interpretation? I don't even think I even touched on that. If you're looking for a connection between Roswell wreckage, symbols, and Greek gods, there are a few interesting theories to consider. Okay, I think we're back on track. Some UFO researchers have suggested that the symbols resemble ancient Greek script, potentially linking them to mythical deities or concepts associated with advanced celestial beings. Another theory ties the markings to Zeus or Apollo, gods associated with the sky and celestial powers. Some alternative theories speculate that ancient Greek gods were not just myths, but extraterrestrial beings misinterpreted by earlier civilizations. If the Roswell symbols had Greek-like qualities, it could suggest a link between alleged ancient alien visitation and modern UFO encounters. Would you like to explore a specific Greek deity's connection further? I responded, yes. Zeus and Apollo are both powerful gods in Greek mythology, but they have distinct roles and characteristics. Zeus, role, king of the gods, ruler of Mount Olympus, i.e. the moon, and the god of the sky, thunder, and justice. I think Mount Olympus is the moon. That's my theory. We'll touch on that later. God of the sky, thunder, and justice. Symbolism, lightning bolt, eagle, oak tree, and throne. Personality, powerful, authoritative, often depicted as a fatherly figure through known for his numerous affairs. Mythology, Zeus overthrew his father Kronos to rule the cosmos. He was the ultimate enforcer of divine law and fate. I wonder if Kronos is the god of time. I wonder if that's like a metaphor for Zeus becoming immortal and overthrowing time. You know what I mean? Like outliving time. I'm going to have to do a deep dive on Zeus now. Fuck. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry. Apollo. Ro, god of the sun, light, music, prophecy, healing, and archery. This is where I think they get the idea of time travel from. I think they're contacting something that could see the future, okay, and getting information from some sort of deity that can see the future. That's just, it's like mutant gift. Like now all the gods can see the future, but this deity can. Symbolism, lyre, bow and arrows, a wreath, and the sun. Personality, wise, artistic, and a bringer of enlightenment, but also vengeful when angered. Mythology, son of Zeus and Leto, twin brothers of Artemis. He was associated with the Oracle of Delphi and was seen as the bridge between divine knowledge and humanity. Key differences. Authority. Zeus is the ruler of all gods, while Apollo serves under him as the divine guide and healer. Elemental connection. Zeus controls thunder and storms, where Apollo is associated with light and the sun. Zeus enforces cosmic order, where Apollo is a god of prophecy. Zeus's personality: Zeus is a ruler and a warrior. Apollo is a thinker and an artist. All right. If you're considering a link between them and the Roswell symbol, Zeus could represent cosmic authority and control over the heavens, while Apollo might symbolize knowledge, communication, and enlightenment, all things often associated with extraterrestrial beings. Are you thinking of a particular angle like Apollo's connection to space or Zeus' role as a sky god? No. You said, could tales of supernatural Greek gods be true considering this evidence? That was my question. It responded, if we take the Roswell wreckage symbols as potential evidence of an advanced or extraterrestrial civilization, it opens up the possibility that ancient Greek stories of Greek gods could be based on real encounters with non-human intelligences. The idea aligns with the ancient astronaut theory, which suggests that myths about gods could be misinterpretations of advanced beings who visited Earth in the distant past. So basically what they're saying is that even our modern interpretation of like Christian modern interpretation of like angels and demons and Christ and all of that, they're all just misinterpretations of ancient astronauts or advanced non-human intelligence. And so like their name is not even Zeus. Like his name is not Zeus or Apollo or Christ or Shiva or any of that. We just call it that because we have no other reference. I think it's just part of it. I think we would just really just make up the names of these gods if they don't just outright lie to us themselves. Okay, sorry. Moving on. Okay, so connections between Greek gods and extraterrestrial theories. Frames of reference. How we interpret divine power as technology. Zeus as a sky ruler. Zeus, the god of thunder and the ruler of heavens, has many similarities to descriptions of powerful extraterrestrial beings in UFO lore. They're going to keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. Hold on, let me see here. Okay. His ability to control lightning and descend from the sky could be interpreted as advanced technology rather than divine power. Apollo and space exploration. Apollo was the god of light, knowledge, and prophecy. The fact that NASA named the Apollo space missions after him suggests a connection between his mythology and space travel. Could Greek gods have been based on ultra-terrestrial entity guiding human civilization through prophecy? Prometheus, god of fire, champion for mankind. The story of Prometheus, who gave fire / knowledge or technology to humans, mirrors modern discussions about ancient aliens possibly influencing human evolution. If advanced beings visited Earth and shared knowledge, myths like this could be distorted accounts of their actions. Stole fire from the gods and gave it to mankind. Zeus punishes Prometheus by chaining him to a rock and having an eagle eat his liver. So a modern reinterpretation would be crash saucers and reverse engineering of them could be metaphors if a flying saucer is a living entity itself, and the eagle eating its liver could be a metaphor for the U.S. government reverse engineering this flying saucer, which is just really dissecting Prometheus, this Greek god. A prophecy come true. Okay. Hieroglyphic symbols and mythology. The markings on the Roswell wreckage, which some say resemble Greek letters or hieroglyph, might be some form of communication. Okay, we kind of touched on that. Could the myths be real? If the Roswell wreckage does contain Greek-like symbols, it raises the questions. Were the Greek gods actual historical beings with advanced technology and then later mythologized? Or were they actual deities later written down about? Okay, so the difference is they're just advanced human civilization that we came in contact with, or they're actual gods that are immortal and we came in contact with them. Let's see. Is there any connection between Prometheus and the atomic bomb? Chat said yes. Oh, interesting. There is a strong symbolic connection between Prometheus and the atomic bomb, particularly in how both represent the dangers and consequences of giving powerful knowledge to humanity. Okay, Prometheus and the atomic bomb, thematic parallels. Bringer of forbidden knowledge. In Greek mythology, Prometheus defies the gods by stealing fire and giving it to humanity, like the serpent in biblical tales with regards to morality. Fire symbolizes technology, progress, and enlightenment, much like nuclear energy and the power of the atom. Scientists who developed the bomb, like those in the Manhattan Project, also unlocked a force that had previously been beyond human reach as a metaphor for nuclear power. Fire in ancient times was a tool that advanced civilizations but also brought about their destruction. The atomic bomb is the ultimate modern parallel. Okay. I can see that. Can't argue with you there. The power struggle between gods and man. Punishment for overstepping boundaries. Prometheus was severely punished for his actions. Chained to a rock where a bird ate his liver daily, the liver would grow back. So I did hear something about how they would take something out of the flying saucer and the piece would reappear. And so now that I'm applying this myth to it, it's getting really Stephen Kingish. This is getting really Twilight Zone. Okay, if we entertain the ancient astronaut theory, some believe Prometheus could represent extraterrestrial beings who gifted early humans with advanced knowledge, possibly even atomic energy in these times. If the Roswell record symbols relate to Greek mythology, could there be remnants of a lost or hidden knowledge that humanity once had? Is there any connection between Hades and human abduction? So I just wanna end with this because they're moving on to Hades in the underworld. That I think there's a connection between Zeus creating the mountain of Olympus and the moon, and the reason why we haven't really been back to the moon physically is because Zeus doesn't want us there, or the entity we would call Zeus or them doesn't want us there. But we're allowed to send like rockets and stuff and communicate with them. And which actually a rocket ship may, if you think about it, and let me just throw this in there too, because I'm thinking about the Tower of Babel. That actually might be a rocket ship. If the gods actually live on the moon or something akin to that. Okay, and we were building a tower that reaches heaven, which could be like if you walk up to a rocket ship, it would look like a tower. It's huge, and then it flies up to the moon, right? So Babylon might be a metaphor for Mount Olympus and that whole interaction there. Okay, anyways, moving on. So, is there any connection between Hades and human abduction? This is going to get interesting. I kind of like AI. It just kind of cuts through all the fat. Excuse me, sorry. So, chat said, yes, there are some fascinating connections between Hades and the concept of human abduction. Like, how does it know what fascinating is? Anyways, especially when viewed through the lens of mythology, psychology, and alien abduction accounts. Hades and mythological abductions. That's not known. Wasn't what was the first abduction named in the Bible? I can't even think of it. It's gonna come to me later. Hades, the Greek god of the underworld, is most famously associated with the abduction of Persephone in the myth. Percy, we'll just call her Percy. Hades kidnaps Percy and takes her to the underworld. She is forced to stay after eating the food of the dead. Pomegranate seeds. Stay away from that shit. Her time in the underworld alters her existence, similar to how abductees often describe being permanently changed by their experiences, like drinking blood from a vampire alters persons. Oh. Okay. Okay. This myth shares key similarities with modern alien abduction reports. Sudden disappearance. Many alien abductees report being taken unexpectedly, much like Percy's. Being transported to another realm, the underworld can be seen as a parallel to another dimension, experiencing time distortion. Percy's stay in the underworld affects the seasons. Oh, and many abductee reports missing time. Changes in the physiology or knowledge. Some abductees claim to return with heightened awareness or strange physical effects, much like Percy's altered state after eating the fruit of the dead. So I wonder if she's like a vampire or something at this point. Like she's no longer the same person. That's weird. That's so weird. Hades as a symbol of extraterrestrial beings, lord of an unseen world. Now, I probably should have went through this. Oh, okay, this is the last of it because I don't remember this part. So I'm just gonna just read what it says. I don't really remember. I didn't go over this. Lord of an unseen world, Hades rules a hidden dark realm beneath the earth. This mirrors descriptions of aliens operating from secret bases, all like the Dosi base, underground or in another dimension. Gatekeeper of souls, just as Hades controls entry to the afterlife. Some alien abduction theories suggest entities are studying human consciousness or the soul. That's true. Could Hades myths be based on ancient abduction accounts? If the Greek gods were extraterrestrial beings like myths like Perseus, abductions could be distorted memories of real encounters. Some UFO researchers suggest that the underground alien bases could be linked to ancient concepts of the underworld, reinforcing Hades' connection to hidden abduction phenomenon. The fear of being taken against one's will is a theme found in both ancient mythology and modern UFO lore. Okay, yeah, so let me just sum it up. So basically, the argument that they're saying is that, let me see if I can put everything together. Okay, so I heard that Oppenheimer channeled the formula of the atomic bomb from a Hindu god. Right? Now, that's actually part of UFO lore, if you really dig. Okay? Now, the reason why that shouldn't shock us is because those Nazis were dabbling in the occult and talking to these master races, right? Now, we thought they were crazy. We just think that they're talking about the kings and queens of Europe. That's what the rest of the world really thinks Germany's talking about. The ancient kings and queens of Europe, and you're just trying to rehash that on a worldwide scale. They're talking about, and I mean like the Nazis, and they're like master race and all of that, actual Hindu gods. They're actual Hindu gods, actual Greek gods, right? That these people like serve and worship. So now, what had happened was we brought these Nazis scientists over to our place, and they continued their experiments, basically. All right, and they basically using the CIA and the Pentagon, um, continued the Nazi regime over here in um, how do you say, camouflaged, like in hidden. That being said, okay, they found out, the Greek gods found out about the atomic bomb, right, and the whole war and everything like that, right. So Zeus basically finds out about this, right, and then tries to figure out who gave mankind divine fire, right? Because now he thinks things are about to get worse. Finds whoever gave um, Oppenheimer the secrets to the atomic bomb, captures this deity, this god. We're just gonna say Greek gods for the sake of argument, okay? But tall white humanoids. That's what I mean. That are made out of crystal. They're probably made out of crystal or some sort of stone. Um, so he captures one of these guys or something to that effect and throws them down here. Okay? And they throws them down there in such a way that it's probably like a crash landing. Okay? And so we get this, we find it, and like I heard some crashes where they covered it up or they just like fenced it off and stuff like that. So they find this flying saucer, which happens to have, what did David Grush say? Had a biologics. So what they mean is that they mean the craft is alive itself, right? And then when they reverse engineer it or take things apart from it, they're basically dissecting it. Okay, so they're dissecting Prometheus, all right? And then like we're trapped in some sort of Greek myth that has something to do with stealing fire from the gods and pissing off Zeus. And now that's why they're so interested in our nuclear weapons, because we're not supposed to have them. Yeah, so I mean that's a lot of information right there. Um, I'm just gonna save this for like part one. I'm gonna make a part two. There's more information. I got to give you a little bit more background about Atlantis, what the Greek gods, what brought about the flood. Okay, Mount Olympus. Maybe there wasn't a moon before, and the moon was actually created. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? I think we'll just pause it there. Atomicon rocks out. Talk to you later. Bye.